A single week on a super yacht can cost a guest over $500,000. That sounds like the yacht owner is printing money. He isn't. In most cases, that owner is still losing money every single year, even while his boat is fully booked for the entire charter season. Today, we're breaking down one of the strangest businesses on the planet, the super yacht charter industry, where the boats rent for more per night than most people's annual salary, and the owner still can't turn a profit. The real purchase price, the real weekly charter rates, and the real reason almost nobody actually makes money running a super yacht business. Welcome to Trillion Dollar Problems. What a super yacht actually costs. Let's start with the price tag because it's bigger and stranger than most people expect. A genuine super yacht's the kind with a full professional crew, multiple decks, and the size to compete in the charter market starts around $10 million dollars for a smaller, older vessel in the 100 to 130 foot range. New builds from elite yards like Larsen, Fedship, or Oceanco routinely run $50 million to $200 million or more. And at the very top of the market, custom mega yachts have sold for over $1 billion once you factor in bespoke materials, multiple helipads, submarines, and full spa decks. And here's the part that surprises people. Building one isn't fast. A true custom super yacht from a top-tier yacht typically takes 3 to 7 years from signed contract to delivery. You're not buying a boat off a lot, you're commissioning a small floating building, engineered from scratch with a waiting list. Once it's actually built, the yacht starts depreciating immediately, and it depreciates hard. Industry data puts first-year depreciation at somewhere around 10 to 15%, then a continued 5 to 10% decline every year after that. So on day one of ownership, before you've paid a single crew salary or burned a drop of fuel, you've already lost millions in asset value purely from taking delivery. This is the part almost nobody factors in before they buy. A super yacht isn't really an appreciating asset, a status symbol, or even really a boat in the traditional sense. Financially, it behaves more like a fast, expensive to maintain machine that starts losing value the moment you turn the engine on, and that's before we've even gotten to what it costs to run. How the charter business actually works. So if the yacht is bleeding value from day one, why does almost every serious super yacht owner also run it as a charter business? Because chartering is the only tool available to claw back even a fraction of what the boat costs to keep afloat, literally and financially. Here's how the charter model actually works. An owner lists their yacht with a professional charter brokerage, and during the high season, guests book the entire vessel by the week, not the night. Weekly base rates for a genuine super yacht typically range from $50,000 on the smaller end to $500,000 or more per week for the largest, most fully equipped vessels, and a handful of the most exclusive boats in the world can command over $1 million for a single week's charter. But the sticker price is never the real price. On top of that weekly base rate, guests also pay what's called an APA, an advanced provisioning allowance, which typically runs an additional 25 to 30% of the base charter fee. This covers fuel, food, dockage fees during the trip, and drinks, and it's essentially a running tab that gets settled at the end of the charter. Then add crew gratuity on top of that, usually another 10 to 20%. So a $200,000 base weekly rate can easily turn into a $260,000 to $280,000 all-in bill for the guest by the time everything is added up. Now here's where it gets interesting for the owner. Charter brokerages don't work for free. They typically take a commission of 20 to 30% of the base charter fee for finding and managing the booking. So of that $200,000 base rate, the owner might only actually net somewhere between $140,000 and $160,000 once the brokerage takes its cut before a single operating expense has even been paid. And charter season isn't year-round. Most owners who charter their yachts only manage to book somewhere between 10 and 20 weeks a year, concentrated around peak season in places like the Mediterranean in summer or the Caribbean in winter. The rest of the year, the yacht often sits largely idle, still burning through crew salaries, dockage, and insurance, regardless of whether a single guest steps aboard. Some owners push further and diversify beyond simple weekly charters, corporate event bookings, film and photo shoot rentals, or exclusive brand partnerships that pay a premium for using the yacht as a backdrop. But these are supplemental income streams, not the core business, and they rarely move the needle enough to change the fundamental math. That fundamental math is this. Industry data consistently shows that charter income recovers somewhere between 20% and 50% of a yacht's annual operating costs. At best, not 50% of the purchase price, 50% in a good year of just the cost to keep the boat running. The rest comes straight out of the owner's pocket every single year, whether they charter it or not. The hidden costs nobody mentions. This is where the entire fantasy collapses into a spreadsheet, and it's known throughout the yachting industry as the 10% rule though. Almost every expert who actually manages these boats will tell you it's closer to 12 to 20% once you own something in true superyacht territory. The rule is simple on paper. Budget roughly 10 to 15% of the yacht's purchase price every single year just to keep it running. On a $50 million yacht, that's $5 million to $7.5 million a year, every year indefinitely. On a $200 million yacht, you're looking at $20 million to $30 million annually, just in operating costs, before the boat has earned a single dollar in charter revenue. Crew is almost always the single largest line item, typically eating up 30 to 40% of the entire operating budget. A superyacht in the 150 to 180 foot range needs a crew of 12 to 18 people just to operate safely and legally. Captain, engineers, deckhands, stewardesses, a chef, sometimes a dedicated masseuse or dive instructor for charter guests. A captain alone on a large yacht can command a monthly salary in the five figures, and a private chef often runs $5,000 to $12,000 a month. Multiply that across a full crew 12 months a year, and you're easily looking at $2.50 to $3 million annually in salaries alone, before anyone's tipped a single dollar in gratuity. Then there's maintenance and refits, which are non-negotiable and unforgiving. Superyachts require regular holeouts, engine servicing, hull cleaning, and periodic major refits that can run into the millions every few years just to stay seaworthy and keep up with insurance and class society requirements. Skip these and you don't just risk a breakdown, you risk losing your insurance coverage and your ability to charter at all. Insurance itself isn't cheap either, and it varies heavily based on cruising area. A yacht based in a hurricane-prone Caribbean route costs meaningfully more to insure than one that stays in calmer northern European waters. Add marina and berthing fees, which spike dramatically in premium locations like the French Riviera or Monaco during peak season, sometimes running tens of thousands of dollars for a single week's dockage alone. And then there's fuel, which for a large motor yacht cruising at speed can run into the thousands of dollars per hour. A single Atlantic crossing or a summer of island hopping can add hundreds of thousands of dollars in fuel costs on its own. Stack all of this together, crew, refits, insurance, marina fees, fuel management company fees, and you start to understand why even a fully booked charter season generating hundreds of thousands of dollars a week still doesn't come close to covering what the yacht costs to simply exist. Is it actually worth it? So after the depreciation, the 10 to 20% annual bleed, the crew salaries, and a charter brokerage taking its cut off the top, is running a superyacht charter business actually worth it? If you're expecting it to function like a normal business, generating real profit, the honest answer is almost never. This is, mathematically, one of the most consistently loss-making assets a wealthy person can own. Even industry professionals are blunt about this. Most superyacht owners who charter their vessels aren't doing it to make money. They're doing it purely to reduce how much money they lose every year. The real winners in this entire ecosystem usually aren't the yacht owners at all. It's the charter brokerages taking their 20 to 30% commission on every booking, the management companies charging fees to run the boat day to day, and the shipyards getting paid up front regardless of what happens after delivery. They get paid whether the owner's yacht turns a profit or not. So why do people keep buying them? Because for the right owner, the math was never really the point. It's usage, privacy, and status that owners are actually purchasing. The charter income is just a way to make an enormous guaranteed loss feel slightly less enormous. There's also a tax angle some owners lean on. In certain jurisdictions, running the yacht as a legitimate charter business can open the door to depreciation deductions and expense write-offs that wouldn't be available on a pure pleasure vessel. It rarely turns the boat profitable, but it can soften the blow on the owner's broader tax bill, which is its own kind of return, even if it never shows up as charter profit on paper. The honest verdict, a superyacht charter business isn't really a business at all. It's one of the most expensive hobbies on earth, wearing a business plan as a disguise. And the owners who understand that going in are the ones who actually end up enjoying the yacht, instead of quietly resenting it every time the fuel bill comes due. That's the real economics of owning a superyacht charter business. The number that looks like profit on the surface, and the number underneath it that almost nobody talks about. Next week on Trillion Dollar Problems, we're going underground to break down what it actually costs to own a diamond mine. And the numbers on that one might be even more brutal. If you want to keep seeing exactly how the ultra rich make and lose their money, one business at a time, hit subscribe because this is just getting started.